ensuring that we are not thrown under, we're not finding ourselves with our destinies in the hands of everybody else. So I'm delighted to have the opportunity to share a thought or two with you. And if we are able to get things working, looks like my slide presentation is going into hiding for reasons known only through to you. But let's see if we can get ourselves online. Before I go there, I'd like for you to be able to think about this session also is about us tapping into our dreams. That's the most critical thing. If there is anything that younger people have that we as adults tend to lose, is dreaming. And I'd like us to be able to just return to that space of literally dreaming. So as we engage in this particular session, I'd like for you to be able to contemplate what it is that you have been doing up until now. So I'm going to take you through a couple of slides that I've prepared, but I'd like for you to be able to think for starters. Well, you made some commitments at the beginning of the year. We are 3 days away from the end of the first quarter of 2021. How are you doing? I'd like for you to be able to take some time and just put yourself on a particular scoreboard in which you are able to monitor the progress you've been making up until now. It's good to be able to have that. And then thirdly, I'd like for you to be able to put in place a plan that will take you to where you're needing to be able to get to. When you've got that working for you, in the next 40 minutes or so, we're going to be able to build on our dreams, build on the things that we would like to be able to realize. And in the end, we will notice that this platform we're on affords us the opportunity to be able to have a vehicle towards the realization of our dreams. And I think I'd like for you to be able to think about that. It is a vehicle towards the realization of our dreams. My engagement in this process began from an appreciation of, you know what? Wages are good, profit is excellent. Wages are good, profit is excellent. And what tends to be able to happen is that too often we find ourselves so attached to the work situation that we are not affording ourselves the opportunity to dream about realizing profitable outcomes, beneficial outcomes. So I'd like for you to be able to just think through that aspect as we go forward. And then, which after I haven't put on the slide, but I'd like for you to be able to work on this pretty much as your own equation. And you're going to work with the letters backwards. C, B, A. First thing is you've got to have clarity in terms of what you want to achieve. Second, believe that you can achieve that which you are dreaming about. And then thirdly, take action, massive action. Sometimes you actually get to be able to do small incremental activities. As you do those, they lead you towards the realization of that which really is setting you up for great success. So I'd like for you to be able to think about that. Last year, a good 367 days ago, you and I started the year with very clear goals. We had set our goals. In fact, 368 days ago, on the 31st of December 2019, most of us were out there listing our New Year resolutions. And flowing from those New Year resolutions, we set a couple of goals. And when you think about it and you look at the slide, there were some bullseye goals that we wanted to be able to achieve, and there were peripheral goals that we also wanted to be able to achieve. Well, as things turned out to be, we needed to be able to find a way in which we could lead ourselves towards the realization of those goals. Bill Havels is a good friend who is stationed out in the US, and he talks extremely about the fact that if you're a leader, your task is to create movement. You're not out there to preside over others, you're about creating movement. So then, if that is what's in place, what do you do when you get the virus standing in the way? What do you do when you get to be torpedoed? Yesterday, we marked that it was a full year since the declaration of the lockdown process. Yesterday, we were talking to that. But what flows with that is that we needed to be able to find a way of progressing ourselves 79 days ago to be able to say, wait, the past is the past, let's move into the future. When we started the new year, we were conscious of the fact that at the bottom of it, COVID-19 was still active. Some of us were directly affected by the virus itself. We lost family members, we lost friends, and some of us got to be able to spend a considerable amount of time in the hospital and needed to be able to recuperate. Those are things that happen. But we need to be able to ask ourselves, how do we actually reset ourselves? Most in the business world have said that if nothing else, 2020 caused a resetting of business. We needed to be able to reorientate the way we do business. We've always noticed that work is the thing you go to. Now we appreciate, with the advent of COVID, that work is the stuff you continuously engage in regardless of location. We also got to be able to realize that we need to be able to bring a light in the space of darkness. And we who are involved in business, like you are here in this call, have had to be able to contemplate, how do you get to be able to find hope when everybody else is hopeless? How do you get to do that? Further, we've gotten to appreciate that there is a need for us to reimagine. You know, Einstein said this a good 100 years ago. Einstein said, imagination is greater than knowledge. That which we know is historical. It has brought us to here. Imagination takes us to the future. And therefore, it is important for us to truly be deliberate about how we imagine our future. What I will emphasize in our conversation together is the importance of imagining and dreaming with a timeline. Because often we have dreams, but we do not have a deadline by which they need to be realized. So what I want to encourage and challenge you to be able to work towards is to reimagine your life with all that you need to be able to have with these provisions. If time and money were not an issue, what would you really do? Where would you really be? What would you really want to have? If time and money were not an issue, what would you really do? Where would you really want to be? Who, in fact, would you want to be? It's crucial for you to be able to appreciate those. And when you've thought about that further, you then begin to appreciate, wait, you're going to need a group of people to work with you. You're not going to be able to go as far as you need to be able to go to all by yourself. The Malawians have been accredited to have given the statement that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others. Now, here's the crucial thing. If we have the opportunity to go far, why go alone? And if there is an opportunity to be able to have others to help you through your journey, why not take them along with you? So here's an appreciation I want you to be able to think. We've already gone 87 days in the new year. 87 days. We have been in lockdown situation for 367 days. Somebody said, never let a crisis go to waste. So what have the 367 days given to you that you had not contemplated previously? Today is the 28th. And when you think about it, 2 and 8 give us a 10. The beauty about 10 is that we actually have got both our hands up, which means we can actually have a full process we engage with together. But I also want you to be able to contemplate this. The 8 in the 28 talks about new beginnings. So you and I are having an opportunity to be able to have a new beginning right in the 3rd month of the year 2021. So you have 278 days of 2021 still left for you to be able to achieve the goals and dreams you have set for yourself. Now look into those. Numbers are extremely important in the nature of the business that you're involved in. So 87 gone, banked. Some banked with good, others banked with not so good. But what you have ahead of you is 278 days. What will you do with those 278 days? Well, here's the proposition I want to be able to make to you. You can choose to be part of the performance that everybody does, and you may be out there with an average performance where in the middle, everybody is located. That usually is about 68 to 70% of the people who are involved in business, who are involved in work, and when there is any performance appraisal process, they get to be like that. I want to believe that Papi and Tibelo invited you to this engagement today so as to be able to ensure that we move beyond the average. What does that mean? It means we put along a new curve. We move ourselves to the right-hand side. And as we move ourselves to the right-hand side, we need a mass of people that are going to be working with us. My proposition is that you get to be able to be one person who is determined to realize your dream. This is the proposition I want to give to you. And if that is the proposition that we can work with, well, why don't we look into this and say, here's a timeline. We're in the year 2021 now. 3 years from now, it will be 2024. What do you see happening? If you were to be able to put your age right now, 2021, and 3 years from now, how old will you be? If it, for argument's sake, you were 57 this year, in 2024, you would be 60, which is the year of retirement. If, for argument's sake, you are 37 now, you would be 40 in 2024, which means life begins, as most people say, life begins at 40. But I'd like for you to be able to really contemplate, is there something more you could be doing in order to be able to make sure that there is more life in your years, not just the years in your life? More life in your years than there are years in your life. Because many people get to be in a space where they have more years in their life, but have got nothing that they can report back on in terms of performance, in terms of improvements, in terms of the way life has gotten for them. So I'd like for you to be able to contemplate just that. Put in place the next 36 months. If we were to be able to position ourselves on the 28th of March 2024, what would you like your life to be? What would you like it to really look like? Next thing I want you to be able to think about it is that this business concept that we're involved in, incidentally, turns out to be simple, but it's not obvious. One of the most successful business people in this platform that we're engaged in, Jim Donnan, who passed away 7 years ago, wrote this book while he was in hospital. And he was trying to be able to help many people who are involved in life, but have not really gotten to an appreciation of how they could improve things. And he said, here are 10 things I know that I wish I knew then when I got started. This is a book that I would encourage you to be able to just tap into, get for yourself, and you will find that it guides you in the program that you're involved in. The second person that I'd like to be able to introduce, and I have not gotten a copy of his book, but I'd like for you to be able to contemplate a gentleman called Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is a master business philosopher that many people who are in network marketing always go to refer to. And it is in us utilizing our business life, as it were. So if you look into your chat, you will find his name that's written right there for you. And the beauty about it is that it is possible for you and I to get there. Here's the next thing. I'd like for you to be able to frame your engagement as beginning from A to G. And this is the framing that I have taken on in business life. And I'd like for you to be able to contemplate its application throughout. You cannot be involved in business without an aspiration. You cannot be involved in business without an aspiration. There's got to be something that pushes you. Sometimes it is the pain that moves you. Other times it is the dread that moves you. But there's got to be an aspiration that is going to get you to be able to not just wake up to go to a job, which is the journey of the book, but it will get you to go to work. And when you go to work, guess what that means? The why of rising is known. The moment your why of rising is known, it makes your life so much more meaningful. And I want to believe that you will enjoy getting into an environment wherein all of the people that you're working with are excited about life. Next thing I'd like for you to be able to think about is, what are your beliefs? The belief systems. Sometimes the business we're involved in is a business we do not believe in. So what I want us to be able to look into this engagement on is to heighten and improve our belief. So often, particularly ourselves as Black people, we've gotten to trust in limiting beliefs more than enabling beliefs. So what I want to encourage us to be able to do this evening is to rethink, what do we believe? And based on those beliefs, I'd like us to make some choices. And I'd like for you to be able to contemplate, and I think Papi and Tibelo would like for you to be able to draw a line in the sand today, where you're basically saying to yourself, I have this and I'm going to give it priority. This side hustle that I'm involved in is going to be something that I'm going to utilize so that I can get the realization of my dreams. Every choice we make has a twin sister, and the twin sister is called consequence. If we choose not to go forward, we will stand still. And guess what happens? We get run over. However, if we choose to keep moving, we will find others who will join in with us, and the journey will be exciting. If you ever watch Forrest Gump, the movie, you've got this young person who are just constantly moving. And eventually people see him and they join in with him and they run along with him. And he covers massive distance. And guess what? When you choose to be moving, you will encourage others to move as well. Fourth, I'd like for you to be able to think about, what is your destiny? And I use this as a terminology of destinate makes all the difference. When destiny is clear, all other things fall in line with the greatest of ease. But when your destiny is not clear, you're easily going to find yourself being like the people of Israel, hanging around for 40 years in a desert on a trip that they could have done in 11 days. When your destiny is clear, you will be able to wake up in the morning and get things done. I have taken notes that we've got 10 minutes, so don't you worry. We're going to break right on time, and then we'll come back again and make sure this works, because we've decided to stay in this for our own personal growth and development. The next thing I want you to be able to think about is that if you were to be able to do the work you do and do it with excellence, you're most likely to find that you will be able to self-inspire. You will be able to not tolerate any mediocrity. So when you find people around you who are doubters, you will be able to push them aside and say, my dream is worth pursuing. And I want you to be able to really contemplate that, because it's a very crucial opportunity to be able to work with. Then I'd like for you to be able to think, what will it look like when you fulfill your dreams? T.D. Jakes often says this, that fulfillment is feeling full. Fulfillment is what happens in a stock-taking environment. Jimmy and I were out at ASCOM many years ago, in fact, 25 years ago, and what we had is that we had a procurement department. And in that space, people would be placing orders of things that they needed. And then there would be a processing of that order. And when it is received and unit 1 or unit 2, unit 3 has those parts, it will be a fulfillment of the order. What are you working on? I think there's always a lot more excitement when what you do aligns with your dream, which then takes us to the G, which is greatness. I really believe that the vehicle that you are signed up to and you are engaged in is one that will take you from good to great. In fact, you may be moving from doubting to possibility to good and then great. And I want to encourage you to be able to use that as an opportunity for engagement. We will have an opportunity for Q's and A's and questions and answers towards the end of the engagement, but I really want you to be able to go into this with some inspiration, with some content that will build you up. Obviously, Tibela and Papi have got this recorded, which means you will be able to play it over and over and over if and when you're needing to be able to get re-inspiration to go forward. So I encourage you to be able to stay close to it, and if needs be, ask them to be able to play back the recording so that when you find yourself in doubt, you can still be inspired. Here's a story I'd like for you to contemplate. Dreams are for you to chase. Dreams are free. You must watch your dreams if you wish to succeed in life. Dream big. You will get there. It's not about the way you dream. It is about the courage to fulfill the same. So go out there, make your name, have the will to get what you want so that you can celebrate in 2024. Success is in your life. But here's the thing for you to note, friend. Success only appears before work in the dictionary, nowhere else. So there's going to be some work you need to engage in order to be able to realize success. Running along with that, I'd like for you to be just contemplating this. This is talking about side hustle. I believe this, and this is a vision that came through to me towards the end of 2020. Free time and using free time well leads you to freedom time. Now that may appear to be kind of like a proverb and a little bit of a mixed up words. No. When you use your free time effectively, utilizing the vehicle that you've got in your hands right now, you will experience freedom. Not the freedom that we're talking about on the 27th of April. We still have that. But there's freedom that is determined by you. Freedom to do the things you want to do without worry about who is going to be calling you back to work. Freedom to be able to do the things you want to do, to be in place you want to go to without limitations of your calendar. Freedom to be with family on vital milestones. That to me is the freedom we want to be able to work towards. Now, there's a book that you can see on the bottom right-hand corner. It's called The Slight Edge. If you have not read this book, well, it's going to be core to what we do. It is core to what we do because it helps us to understand what is called the eighth wonder. in the world. The eighth wonder is exponential growth. Exponential growth happens when we are engaging with others and we grow, doubling every day. So what we get to be able to pick up from the writing of Jeff Olson is that effectively there are some things that will give us a slight edge. And what gives us a slight edge is pursuing the simple discipline of doing those things repeatedly over time that will generate success. While we know there's also a situation where people will continuously not do what needs to be done, and as a result of that, find themselves experiencing failure. I want to take you away from that so that you can actually be a success in what you're engaging with. So I want to take you through to that space. Moving along then, in the 3 minutes that go, and I'm going to cut off while we still have a minute to go. Here is something that will guide you. There are things that are easy to do and things that are easy not to do. Easy to do is simple disciplines that is made consistently over time. Easy not to do are simple errors in judgment that are made over time. Easy to do when you commit yourself to it is you could be able to make sure that you are engaging in a way that brings out discipline, values for yourself, and you take yourself to the 5% of people that are successful around the world. I don't know if you've noticed this. 95% of the wealth resides in 5% of the population worldwide. 95% of the wealth resides in 5% of the people in the world. Now that appears to be totally unfair, but I want you to be able to notice it really is possible for you utilizing this vehicle to be part of that 5%. We have, matched by the attitude we carry, matched by the actions we have, produces the results that will ensure we've got the lifestyle and the finances that we want, the health status we desire, the business size we're looking for. And we may very well find ourselves with improved relationships as well as growth at a personal level. So personal development becomes possible. Here is the word I'd like for you to be able to take out of your list: blame. It is so easy for us to blame others when things don't work. So for argument's sake, you've got a team of 2 or 3 or 5 people that are working with you, and you're not seeing progress coming from there. The moment you blame, I want to challenge you to go to the mirror and talk to the person in the mirror and hear what they have to say to you. Because often we are not modeling that which we require others to be able to do. The moment we get to be able to give ourselves an opportunity of engaging with the things we're asking others to be able to do, we'll be pleasantly surprised as to how many would want to go along with us. Along with this, I'd like for you to be able to think about what are called success habits in the networking business. And I'm going to use the example that comes through from an environment where there are physical products. And in your case, you're dealing with intangibles, but they become tangible when the money is cleared into your bank account. I'd like for you to be able to consider this. First and foremost, you need to be able to be consistent and persistent in sharing your plan, your business plan, your marketing plan. If you're not consistent and persistent, you will find that you will doubt yourself. And when doubt is seen in your eyes, people realize you don't mean what you say. So I want to encourage you that you become consistent and persistent. In the program that I'm involved in, we say that anybody who is wanting to be able to be truly successful, share your business plan at least twice a week. Ideally, we say share it 5 times a week. Because when you do that, your belief is strengthened. Second, I would encourage you to be a user of your own products. So if you are engaged in this particular platform, make it the platform that you are referring to, utilizing, and getting to know the nitty-gritties of the program. When you do that, you help yourself to go much further. Next thing I want to encourage you to be able to do is, if it is to be that there is a target that is set for you on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, go for it. The more you hit your own targets, the more confidence you get to have. If you do not have that, you will find it very difficult to go forward. Now, I know that there are going to be cases where we actually trip and fall. Muhammad Ali used to be able to say, I will fall 7 times, but I will rise 8 times. And that, to me, is a crucial thing for people who are involved in business and in life. You can trip 7 times, rise up the 8th time. When you do that, it's going to help you to go forward. How do you make it work? Well, here's one of the processes. Make it a point that you're in a continual education process. Most of us travel, and many of the lessons that a Jim Rohn would be able to present through to you are contained in CDs, in audios, in MP3s, in videos, in DVDs. I encourage you to be able to just to listen to an audio that is going to help you to feel that you are in control of what's happening in your life. The next thing I want you to be able to contemplate is that there is a lot that is happening in your surroundings. And as things are happening in your surroundings, what happens is that there's going to be some books you need to be able to connect to. If you read and have a love affair with your books, you will go places. Right now, I'm reading a book that says, No More Excuses. That's the book I'm reading. And guess what it's telling me? Is that too often we let the excuses be stronger and bigger than our dreams. And I've come to appreciate, particularly in our country, that we suffer from an excuse-itis disease. And I want to take us out of that. When you read, it gives you a chance to have an audience with the writer and appreciate the things that are there. Next thing I'd like to encourage you to be able to do is, just like we have in this session, Papi and Tibelo have invited you. Make it a point that you attend. In fact, your diary needs to be able to have these occasions already in your diary, so that they are non-negotiable. You've got it set up, and you say to yourself, whatever and whoever comes with any idea, they will not be distracting me from what I need to be able to do. Not unless, of course, there is a bereavement in the family. You would need to be able to attend to that. But aside of that, I really want to encourage you to be able to make sure that the functions that Papi and Tibelo puts together become the things that you prioritize. The next thing I want you to be able to consider is that be a team player. You will be able to go places as an individual business owner, but you could also be an individual business observer. When you're an observer, you're not going far. In fact, you will be looking at everybody else and celebrating their successes, but you are not making progress. My proposition is, look into this as an opportunity to be able to be a team member and a team player. When you're a team player, when you are tripped and some things are slowing down, they will encourage you and they will go places with you. Finally, I'd like to encourage you to be able to learn to dream. Dream. I had the slide earlier on that looked into the next 3 years, 36 months from now, what do you want to have achieved? If that is clear, you will be able to wake up in the morning even when things don't seem to be working for you. Next thing I want you to be able to consider is that you are in control of your dreams. Second, you are in control of what is the language that is used in mining. When you're looking for gold, you know you will prospect and you go really deep down before you can actually strike gold. When you're looking for coal, you don't have to go too far. When you're looking for diamond, you know you've got to go really down. But who are you prospecting? Who are the people who are prospectively going to be working with you to get to where you want to go to? And then put a list together of the people that matter. You are in control of the list of people you invite to work with you. Simple 4 things you have control over. So let's spend a little bit of time looking into the slide edge principles. First principle is show up. Nothing is going to happen without you showing up. Second, you need to be able to make it that you are consistent. Make it a point that you hold your beliefs. Fourth, make it a point that you come looking for quick fixes. You will find yourself in pyramids which crash so often. I would encourage you to shy away from anything that says it's too good to be true, because it really is just that. If it is too good to be true, it is just that. Be careful. Fifth, I'd like for you to be able to have faith in your dreams, but also have a burning desire within that takes you forward when things don't seem to be working. Sixth, I'd like for you to be able to consider that you are willing to pay the price of speaking with people that you would ordinarily not speak to. Pay the price of putting aside the fun things for now so that you are going to be able to realize the things you really want. Truly successful people do the things that unsuccessful people are not willing to do. So consider that as a mantra for yourself. The next thing I want you to be able to contemplate is this. Have the integrity to practice slide edge. That is, do the little things that enable you to be able to achieve the goals that others don't want to do. Have the discipline to carry forward. So that is something that I'd like for you to be able to consider. Further, what you can apply in terms of the slide edge principle, if you can double every day or every week for just 31 days or 31 weeks, if you want to work it in weeks, what you will be able to achieve is what happens if you are to be able to double 1 rand every day for 31 days. By day number 16, it won't look like you've achieved much. But if you are consistent, by day number 31, you will have realized 10 million rand. So I encourage you to be able to be consistent, be consistently consistent. Next thing I want to encourage you to do is to show your marketing plan at least 4 times a week. If you do that, it will give you the confidence around what it is you do. Next, I'd like for you to be able to constantly consider a situation where you know that you may very well be sharing a plan of about 4 times a week. 50% of those will be willing to be able to join forces with you. And if when you do that, you will find that you begin to have the confidence that this thing can be done. Next thing I want you to be able to do is to equip yourself to double yourself every week. Double yourself every week, which means at the next session, the next session that Papi and Tibelo put together has got to be a session where you have brought someone else and another person. So you at least have about 2 people that you've invited to be a part of the session so that they get to be able to have the confidence that they build the same knowledge as yourself. Because if you get to be the only one who knows everything, you're actually stunting your own growth. And then double your coaching. Success in network marketing is about you connecting with your leadership on a weekly basis. When you do that, you will know whether you're on track or off track. And if you can hold yourself accountable every week, you will find that accountability builds inside of you the discipline that will make those who are part of your team want to hold themselves accountable to you as well. And finally, I'd like to encourage you to double your support and the edification of your business. What I mean by that, talking positively about your business each week. When you do that, eventually you'll get to a point where things work out well. Here is an activity loop that I would encourage you to be able to start looking at. Any business that we're involved in requires us to be able to have a list of people that we believe in, that can work with us. Invite them to engage in the business concept with ourselves, and then show them the business opportunity. Get them started, and then show that you believe in this by being the user of your own product. So if you are mining as you are in this Bitcoin space and cryptocurrency space, you need to be a person who is able to talk to your crypto space with confidence because you know it, you live it, it's part of you. Now, let me take this a little bit further. Now, I know you're taking some notes on that. I want to be able to wrap in about 5 minutes so that we've got an engagement with one another. Here is the stuff that I want you to be able to look at. I began this process, I said, I need to be able to have some dreams of my own. So what are my dreams? I have an intangible dream to have a united family. The fact that I've got it written down says I'm going to be working on anything that is not uniting the family, push it aside. Next, I want to be able to have an unbonded home back in my village, which means it is a home that is built out of the proceeds, out of profit, not out of I owe someone. Next, I want to be able to make sure that I become a best-selling author. 2 days ago, I was engaging with folk out at El Dorado Park, and we were talking about this because it's important to be able to think about how your story gets to be told when you're no longer there. So I've decided it's a crucial thing that I want to engage with. Next thing is, I want to be able to be an international inspirational speaker. That's my dream. I'd like to be in the platforms around the world so that it is not just the story that I hear about Jim Rohn. It's not just the story that I hear about other people. It's a story that I can take to others as well. I want to be able to make sure that I'm not traveling in a vehicle that belongs to the bank. And finally, I want to be able to make sure that my leader, the leader in my business, cites my story internationally. When he's in Indonesia, I'd like him to be able to cite my story. When he's out in Australia, I want him to be able to cite my story. When he's out in the USA, I want him to be able to cite my story. Now, those are 6 simple dreams that I've written down for myself. What are your dreams? Have you written them down? Writing your dream down forces you to be able to check yourself against them. Even more important, if that dream is handwritten, the writing by hand translates what's in writing by hand through the nervous system to your mind. And when it goes into your mind, it's going to drop to your heart. And your heart is going to be actively engaged with that so that your hands will want to see it become reality. Next thing I want you to be able to think about is, so who gets to be part of your list? Simple. Think about it. Who would you invite to start a 5 million or 10 million business? Okay, just that's one of the things to look at. Who do you know that is in a particular profession that you respect? Who is successful and would welcome another opportunity for success, for a successful endeavor or a successful journey? And then segment your list. There are going to be people in your list who are family and friends. They know things about you. And then there will be associates. Those are people that you know from work and your social relations. Then there will be acquaintances. There will be distant and casual relations. There will be warm contacts where people are referring you and you are able to say, well, so-and-so indicated that you've got a dream of this sort. I have a vehicle for you that could very well be something you can consider working with. And then there will be your cold contacts. People that are strangers that you meet in the mall, people that you meet at a community activity out there. Those will be there. Utilize them. Further, in your list, if you go around and collect business cards from people that you would like to chat with, that enables you to be able to build confidence about what you need to do. But here's a key warning. Make friends with people before you talk business. Because people connect to you as a friend more than they do to you when you treat them as the vehicle to your dreams. So be friends and build the friendship more. And keep a door open. If somebody says no to your concept right now, keep the door open. Later on, they may just decide, hey, it's okay, I want to revisit that story. So always leave the door open for them to be able to come in later on. When you're out there to be able to start inviting people, this is a nuts and bolts session. Your invitation will actually go further if you tackle the big fish first, the people that you are often afraid of, but you know their story is the story you would like to associate with. If you can get those to work with you, you will go places. Of course, Papi and Tibelo would have a script that they've put together for you to guide you through this process. I propose that you contemplate utilizing form in your conversation. So you ask people, what's their family status? Find out about their occupation. How do they recreate themselves? What are the things that they enjoy doing? How are they generating money? Somewhere in those 4 things, you will find an entry to introduce business. Also, please consider this. You are a buyer. You're not selling the concept. What do I mean by that? You invite to you the people that you want to be in the journey with. Do not be chasing after people. When you chase after people, you appear desperate and they will not be excited about being chased after. So, when you do a lot of telling, you are selling. But when you spend a lot more time asking questions about the people, you are buying. Because in the questions, as you keep asking them, you will begin to appreciate where the pain is. What are the things that they would like to be able to get to? Utilize that to your benefit. If you know that the person you're engaging with is in a coupled situation, whether they're married or they're in a partnership, as much as possible, invite them as a couple. And you will know for a fact that usually one of the two will be a decision maker. And usually it's the woman who makes the decision. I know, guys, you don't like to hear that. But Often, the influencers in the household happen to be the women. And therefore, however you share your story, make it a point that it resonates to where they are at. Next thing I want you to be able to think about is decide your pace. Do you want to go slow or you want to go fast? If you want to go slow, go one-on-one. If you want to go fast, have a group of people come together in one sitting. Keep it brief, make it a business call. Clear a night on which you can have a conversation, or clear a date and confirm that date. When you've got that working, your business is going to take off. Then I'd like for you to be able to start doing this. Read an invitation per the script that Tibelo and Papi share with you. If you're going to be calling people on your phone, let it not be more than 2 minutes. The longer it is, the longer you will be tempted to share too much on the phone, and the person will work out, this is not the stuff I want to do. So have a generic, invitation. Are you free on a Tuesday? Are you free on a Thursday night? My partner and I are engaging in this business and a new venture, and we would like for you to be able to, we would like to visit you. Can we come and visit with you? Or would you care to be able to join us in this setting? We're going to be in a meeting in such and such a place. Okay, let's wrap this. Here's an example. If you're to be able to invite about 40 to 60 people, and you share your business concept to about 25 people, you're most likely to be able to have at least 5 people choosing to work with you. And your task is to duplicate yourself. So the more people you invite, the more it will be possible for you to be able to share your business concept. And those people, from those, will be people who will believe in your project and go places with you. And when you look into it, you want to be able to find at least 2 people that can duplicate what you do, so that you're not the only one who is the magic of the story. Next, think about creating a business structure. It is yourself, and you've got at least 10 people that are connected to your business. The ones that are highlighted in orange are the people that you notice yourself as the people who are going to be able to create success. You work with them, you build the process forward. And when you do that, you'll find that it is an easy step-by-step thing. You get to be a leader. You invite others to become leaders as well with you. You duplicate yourself. In a space of about 90 days, you may very well find that's 3 months. In a space of about 90 days, you begin to find that your story is being replicated and others are finding that they can do the same thing with you. You want to have huge growth, and for you to grow, you need to have clarity of mission and clarity of vision. Where do you want to go to, and why do you want to go there? With that in mind, we can then close off with these words. I'd like for you to be able to consider, you're going to be working remotely because we are on the internet space. We're in a COVID-19 environment. So what is calling you to be able to do is this. Make it a point you are clear about your own expectations. Second, you are able to determine that you are available and the people you're working with are also available. You need to explain your own goals. What are you aiming towards? What is the team aiming towards? Plan your meetings so that they become the space within which you all grow. Communication is vital, whether it is by WhatsApp or by WhatsApp calls or this kind of communication. Make it central to everything that you do. Next, make it a point you consider what is the culture in your team. Is it a culture where you are emphasizing more of presence or results? Are you emphasizing the building up of one another, or you are letting things happen by themselves? What are you trying to achieve? Lead with trust by being a trusted person. The stories you tell must be the stories that others can grow with. Then I want to ask you, to be able to ask more questions and listen so that you buy instead of selling. Ask questions about where the people are at, listen to what they have to say, write them down, and flowing from that, you are able to tailor-make your proposition to their specific needs. Use technology to connect as often as you do, which is what we are doing right now. Be prepared at all times. Be specific about what you're trying to achieve. For me, it's the next 3 years. The next 36 months have got to be big months. And when I work with them, they will help me to be able to get the best results that I'm looking for. Use tools for collaboration like this, because if we have an opportunity for Q&A like we're going to do now, we are able to grow together. Finally, be as inclusive as possible. It's not just about me, it's about us. As we work with that, I'd like for you to be able to just consider, let go and let things work for you, because the success of your business depends on working with others. The success of your business depends on you letting others work with you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Papi. Over to you.
I'm just blown away for this session. I'm just blown away. Guys, do you know how much money you pay to have a session like this? You know, what we call self-improvement. It's a big business out there, because you are the asset of your own business, and you can only grow your business as far as your knowledge is concerned and motivation. Without you doing personal growth and personal development programs, you will not go far. And this is one of the best I have attended. And what I love about it is done by an African like me. I mean, I love this. I'm woo. And that is one, you don't know what you've done inside of me. You know, you pushed me to the next level. I'm not taking any prisoners. Let this not be about me. Let me open the doors for some people to comment. Guys, ask questions, comment, say something. Just be out there. If you're sitting on your comfort zone, I wrote something down. It says that great things never come from a comfort zone. Great things never come from a comfort zone. And the other one is excellence is a habit. Oh, you know what, guys, I'm blown away. Just unmute yourself, open your mic, unmute yourself, say something, ask questions, get something from this. We only have about 6 minutes left, so please, that is one is at your at your mercy, if I have to put it that way, or is at your service. Yes, and that is one is at your service. Yes. Yeah, so please open your mic and ask a question or bring out a comment. Can people unmute themselves? Develop, can you allow others to open their mics and be able to ask questions or say something?
Okay, let's see. I think people should be able to unmute, or if you want to be unmuted, please just raise your hand, then I'll unmute you.
Oh, I just heard, this is beautiful. I'm telling you, this is.
BUYANI, I know you have blown people out of their minds. Yes, you do. But yeah, guys, even if it's just to comment, thank you, Gitu, for indicating great insights. What I like about this is that this is somebody that's doing network marketing in another type of business. And
Yeah.
what he's sharing with us applies even in our business. So when we say to you, have lists, contact people, ask questions, it's not just for the fun of it. It's because that is part of network marketing. So if anybody else has something to say, please go ahead, let us know, or maybe just type it in the chat box.
And I want to say to everyone that is on the call right now, to say in the crypto space that we are in, one of the things that we need to understand, especially when it comes to network marketing, is that this is a time-sensitive opportunity.
Yeah.
I loved what Dr. ZWANE said. He says, take action, but take massive action. For the next, set a goal for the next 3 years. For the next 3 years, just tell yourself, I only have 3 years. And for the next 3 years, I'm going to give it my all. Understand that this is not forever. This is a time-sensitive opportunity that we have in our hands so that we are able to maximize and get the best out of it. So, I mean, guys, young man, I know you must be encouraged. I'm sure where you are sitting right now, you are very much encouraged. There's so many of them, and that there's one from here. That's I know. This past weekend, I saw 2 other older ladies that are in the team. They were out at the robots. Older ladies, they were out at the robots with pamphlet, giving out, making connection with people, and I was like, wow, they really, really blew me away. And guys, we really have to do this thing. And one of the things that is one he mentioned, he said, he mentioned the principle of monkey see, monkey do. He says, when you are a leader, you can't just say some things to people. People act fast and they act well when they see you doing what you are actually wanting them to do. And that is what I am saying to all of us that are on the call, to say you've got people that you've introduced into the business. They are watching you. The action that they are going to take is because they are looking at you sitting and relaxing and you're not doing anything, or they're thinking, oh, this is how you do the business. But when they see you take massive action and you are able to go out there and you are doing contacts and you are doing meetings, they start to do the same because they emulate you. That we talked about duplication, I believe so.
Exactly.
And that is how you duplicate yourself,
Exactly.
by acting. So guys, I've said a mouthful. I can talk all the time. So let's say something. I know they're typing. The KG is typing, and who else can say something before we've got 2 minutes left, guys? Now it's about it's 1 minute 59 seconds. So let's say something to Dr. ZWANE. Then if you're not having a question, just say something to Dr. ZWANE to thank him for this time. You have just had guys, you have just had a 10,000 rands meeting right in front of you without you paying. Maureen.
No, I just want to say thank you, Ntate ZWANE. Wow.
Thank you.
This
You're welcome, Maureen. You're most welcome.
It blew my mind. I also like those principles where you indicated that we must be consistent and we must have a good attitude, and be willing to pay the price. To me, it was great. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
I don't know. You can think that this one, we've got a minute left.
Yes, let me just quickly do that. BUYANI, thank you so much, firstly, for accepting the invitation. When I spoke to you and I said, come and, encourage the team. And guys, I invited BUYANI because I know I knew he would be able to share this with us. Secondly, I'm glad that you were all able to make it to the meeting. And I hope you've taken the lessons that he's shared. We've recorded the 2 sessions. We'll put them in the Team Wealth app. Remember, we don't usually do the nuts and bolts, record them, but today we will record and put them in the app so that if people want to access it, they can go to the app. And remember, it also helps you to direct them to the app when they're looking for the information. But BUYANI,